Flashback.
Ooga 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 ooga.
Bây giờ gì?
Banana.
Chip. Chip better. Banana.
Banana best.
Chip better.
Banana best.
Chip better.
Taste it right.
Yeah.
Ooga ooga.
No French? Okay. Titrada.
दिल ooga ooga तेरे ooga ooga damn ooga ooga ooga. Whoa!
1 minute 37 seconds later.
Banana wine best. Tasty. Banana wine. No more chip.
No more chip, only French chip.
Ooga ooga ooga.
यार जो बच्चा बजाओ भैया पूजा पूजा.
End of flashback.
So, did you know that thousands of years ago, we humans were one of the weakest animals in the world until we learned how to collaborate and work together? Yuval Harari, in his book Sapiens, called this as a unique talent. The earliest humans did this by living, hunting, and eating together in tribes. They even sat together alongside a campfire after the day ended. And if anybody did something wrong, they'd be kicked out of the tribe, which would cause immense social pain in that human. But things are very different today. We modern humans live in a different world now. We no longer need a group to work or fix stuff at home. We don't even need to sit in front of a fire because now we have our screens. But I'll tell you something, even though we have evolved so much, we still get the same feeling our hunter-gatherer ancestors would get when they got kicked out of tribes. This feeling is loneliness, which is becoming an epidemic worldwide. Now you must be like, no, I'm not lonely. Loneliness might seem trivial to you, but according to a study by the head of US's Public Health Service, Dr. Vivek Murthy, loneliness is as detrimental to your health as smoking 15 packs of cigarettes a day. Not just 15 packs. But while we have labels on cigarettes warning us that they are dangerous for our health, we don't have a single label for loneliness. So in today's video, I want to break down why is this happening, and more importantly, what is the solution and what can you do to overcome something like this. So I have a question for all of you. How many of you watching this right now have left your homes, your families, cities where you grew up in, or are planning to leave to chase better opportunities, better lives and better jobs? A lot of you, right? And why shouldn't you? We all want to achieve our dreams. But sometimes the consequence of this is we often end up in unfamiliar territory, isolated from our friends and family, and this isolation slowly turns into loneliness, and then you're left questioning, is it all actually worth it? You know, more than 90% folks in our team has left their home and cities to come work with us. So we asked them, how have they tackled this feeling of isolation when they moved here, and what is it that helps them?
Hi. My name is Ashok Reddy. I'm from Hyderabad. So I used to do freelance graphic design from home. There are some days like I feel like very lonely to do that work. You don't have that team to learn new things and they're pushing boundaries every day. That was the reason that I shifted to freelancing to job to learn new things and experiment with some awesome folks.
We made an unsaid rules. Lunchtime we all sit together, eat together, just hang out together. Even if some new one comes and joins, they don't feel like they are left out.
Previously I had a chance. I went out in hostel during my 11-12 days. My experience was very bad. I came back and I decided I would never leave my home regardless of anything. But I took another shot for editing. I came here and turns out it's a completely different experience. Like people here are like family for me and I don't feel like I'm away from home.
So I have to share one incident that recently happened. So while I was sleeping at my PG, around 12 o'clock, my roommates and then my colleagues came and then they gave some good surprise party. I never had that kind of surprise in my life.
So you heard that. But I'll tell you what, more and more people are migrating and leaving, and according to a study, this problem of loneliness is going to worsen as our cities become bigger and bigger. The UN says Delhi is going to be the most populated city soon. So more people, more loneliness. It's a weird equation, but it's the truth. Feeling lonely is not just about not having friends and family, but it's the horrible feeling you feel at the pit of your stomach of being unseen and unheard even when you're with people. And that is the scary part for me. At the core of it all, it's not about the number of people around you, but the quality of your connections with them, which are on a continuous downward spiral because of this new age social media. If you look at these social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, they all promise to keep us more connected, but in reality, they all had the opposite effect. They were supposed to be conversational, but instead have become performative. We're all busy creating content, not to engage, but to get likes and shares, which, as Naval rightly says, is making celebrities out of all of us, and celebrities are literally some of the most miserable people on planet. See, if you look at human behavior, right, it's based on three things. That's stimulus, response, and payoff. So when you're feeling really lonely or get rejected by your tribe, the pain of social rejection activates the same part of your brain as physical pain, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. This pain is our stimulus. When our ancestors felt lonely, their response was to seek out friendships or meaningful interactions, aiming for the payoff, which was an emotional connection. But you know what happens today? When we feel this stimulus, we don't reach out to people. We go on Instagram and start scrolling through reels. In our desperate search for real connection, we start posting comments on other people's photos and videos, mistaking the attention we get on those comments or posts with connection. We all are literally conflating attention with connection, and my friends, it is not the same thing. Let me explain what I mean. See, when somebody puts up a video, you will see someone in the comments purposely putting a controversial comment or something contradictory because they want likes or some sort of attention, when what the brain actually wants is friendship. But what they're getting here is probably 100 likes for posting a comment. The problem is they are not getting any of the benefits of friendship except the quick dopamine burst from somebody complimenting you. Think about it, okay? In the real world, it is not normal to receive these many compliments every day. Ask yourself this, when was the last time in the real world that 100 people clapped for you? Probably never. You know, we looked at the history of the Facebook like button. It used to be called the awesome button. The whole idea was that it would prevent people from commenting. It would just be likes. But then when comments were added, paradoxically, engagement on comments themselves went up. A lot of people started commenting in hopes of getting likes on their comments. So many of us sitting on social media are trying to garner attention when we should be focusing on building friendships. But that is also tough, right? The problem with friendships is that they require actual work. It's not the same as writing one comment or sending a text. It actually requires us to show up, to be kind, to support each other as much as we hope that the other person supports us. It's a mutual relationship, and most importantly, it is built face to face. But I'll tell you what happened. COVID happened. COVID convinced all of us that everything could be done online. It's okay to work online, have skills online, but with the rise of remote jobs, people started to forget that you can also go offline. You can also have a successful career and build relationships offline. We want our favorite food, we order it online and somebody delivers it. We want to buy our favorite clothes, we order it online. Everything is so convenient, but unfortunately, it's not the best for us humans. We are social animals. We need connection. Think about the clubs or groups you were part of in college. After college, many of us aren't part of such groups anymore. In school or college, we were actually forced to make friends. Think about it, okay? Most of our friends from college or school are from the same bench or table we were assigned to sit at. We had to interact with those around us, which eventually led to friendships. This whole system has only disappeared now with online learning. In an online class with thousands of students, forming friendships becomes tough. So the secret actually lies in offline communities, but many of us are lazy and lack the energy or time to go out and make friends. Many of us are also shy to make friends. And on top of all this, what is happening is the world is becoming more and more tribal. Even in our social relationships, right? A lot of kids struggle if they don't have a clear identity. So affiliations to the left, the right, a particular party, a particular religion have become very vital for the human brain. This tribal mindset makes some people argue that humans were happier when they were religious because they had clear identities.
Wait,
This video is sponsored by us. So last year we started a video editing cohort with the goal in mind that we wanted to impact the lives of the people who watched us. We've done 4 cohorts up to now and are gonna be starting our 5th one. And till now we have trained over 1,200 students and are proud to say we have impacted each of these lives. In fact, some of our students have gone out and gotten placed with billion-dollar companies and the top creators like Unacademy, Physics Wala, Finance with Sharan, Ali Abdal and Tanmay Bhatt. We have students who have started their own creator journey and are pulling 500,000 views. We have business owners who have started to pull 100k views on long form and have started to expand their already existing business. In fact, I'm proud to announce that all of these guys who work on AV videos are our students from the cohort. So if you want to know how we constantly keep on pushing video boundaries by doing videos like anime, doing deepfake, CGI and do these crazy animation, we're doing a free class on 18th November where we will be deep diving into how to do YouTube, video editing, script writing, storytelling and everything in between. See you there.
Now, because of this polarization online, we've also become very selective in our relationships everywhere. God forbid if that one friend that we have finally made happens to like, I don't know, Jordan Peterson or something. Then you're like, no, we can't be friends because we don't share same ideologies. With literally everything, we're becoming very picky, creating divisions where there shouldn't be. And I'll tell you what's happening as a result of this. When we feel the need for connection, we go post comments on social media. We have started depending on parasocial relationships with influencers. You know what that means? Parasocial relationships are basically these one-sided relationships that people develop with public figures or media personalities. You get this sense of feeling like you know the individual on a personal level despite never actually meeting or interacting with them. It's like you're friends with somebody you've never met. You feel a sense of connection, but in reality, it is fake. It is not real. First and foremost, we need to stop conflating attention with genuine relationships. Every human, whether introvert, shy, needs connection, and connections require an incredible amount of effort, which most of the people are not willing to put because they're too busy seeking validation through likes on the internet by posting frivolous comments. It is simply the wrong approach, my friends. Remember I said that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 packs of cigarettes a day? According to studies, loneliness can also increase the risk of early death, dementia, and heart attack. It has already become a massive issue in countries like Japan, where an estimated 1.5 million population have become hikomori. That is basically people not leaving their rooms and choosing to live in isolation. Loneliness is also becoming a massive issue in England, but while both England and Japan have identified it's a problem and even appointed a minister for loneliness. Question is, what is happening in India? In India, more than 40% of Indians are estimated to be suffering from loneliness. Why is nobody doing anything about this here? Leave solutions. We haven't even addressed these issues despite a growing number of Bollywood celebrities, cricketers and influencers talking about their mental health struggles openly. According to a Deloitte report, over 70% of Indians still consider mental health as a term associated with stigma. According to NIMHANS, more than 150 million Indians are suffering from mental health issues, but only 30 million are getting necessary support. What about the rest? Have a look at this chart. We don't even have the required number of mental health care professionals. We were going to the mental health industry report by Bloom and we saw that the average cost of therapy in India is around 800 to 3,000 per hour, which is an amount many folks in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities cannot even think about. Question is, what can we do if you are somebody who's suffering from this in India? I know it's tough for a lot of people to open up and even talk about their problems, and I also somewhere see that it's become even harder for men in the last few years because of a decline in close male friendships. We saw this one survey by American Perspectives which stated that 15% of men today don't have a close male friend, which is a big jump from just 3% in 1990s. So what do? We feel the remedy is reintroducing offline real-world interactions and communities. See, most people lack the motivation or are too shy to establish friendships on their own, and I totally get you. There was a time where I found it tough making new friends as well. But here are a few things that worked for me and some people I know, which could be helpful for you as well. First and foremost, just acknowledging that this is a problem and you want to put in effort into making good, solid relationships and knowing that nobody else is going to do it for you except you yourself. So I realized this and I made a plan. I basically started looking for offline communities I could join or online communities which organized offline meetups. And I found found so many of them on Twitter and Instagram. So the easiest was finding some sport to play with people. So I tried to find if there were any group of people who were meeting up to play some sports actively. See, you don't need to be a pro at the game. You just need to be willing to learn. So I started going for those games in the morning and made some new friends there. Now, once you join these communities and clubs, it's a little bit intimidating because you're like, what if I show up and I don't know what to say? For this, just have 3-4 questions ready in your head and approach people with these questions and put on a smile. Third, if not sports, TV shows, music, your work, your skills work really well when it comes to uniting people. In fact, I recently saw this on Twitter. So somebody was screening the finale of a very popular show at their home and they were like, I'm doing this. Anybody who's interested, come over. So you can be somebody who takes this initiative online and gets people together offline to watch maybe the World Cup final or something together. See, shared interests are honestly the best way to build relationships. And the more face-to-face time you spend with people, right, the better you get to know them. You know, even when we do these video editing cohorts, right, we make sure that we do at least 1 to 2 offline activities and meetups so all the students can come together, meet face to face and make some friends. In fact, even online we put these students in teams and make them spend a lot of time together because we know how lonely a lot of these kids feel sitting at home alone on their phones all day. See, relying solely on digital realm for social validation is futile. It is crucial to realize that true friendships and connections go beyond the virtual likes and comments on a screen. So I genuinely urge you to seek authentic friendships and face-to-face interactions in a world increasingly dominated by screens. Yes, thoda effort lagega, but you will not regret it. Additionally, if you or somebody you know is suffering from loneliness or any sort of mental health issue, know that it's completely okay to share your problems and seek help. Our world is already becoming more and more complex and going through a lot, so we urge you all to kindly take care of yourselves. That is it for today's video. We hope that you learned something new. My name is Achina Maya. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to AVTV.